I thought it would be fun to take this opportunity to do a comparison between the Elna Lotus, the Elna SP, and the Singer 301. So there's about 20 years difference between this and that, and then a few years difference between the SP and the Lotus itself. So that is the newest. It's probably about 25 years newer than this one, maybe 23. So the idea is, what's interesting about them? What do I like? What don't I like? And we'll fill in some details. So, 1 second. So, this machine here, the 301, is all metal. Aluminium on the outside, metal on the inside. This will sew pretty much forever. That's just wonderful. It's all gear driven, full rotary hook, ball and system, droppable feed dogs. Straight stitch only, reverse and forward. The Elna Lotus. So this is really a very portable sewing machine. Believe it or not, they're about the same weight. You wouldn't think so, but I'm not sure why that one is that heavy as this, but it's pretty solidly built, I have to admit. This one, the SP, is lighter though. I'm intrigued with that. It is lighter compared to that, probably 3/4 of the weight. So I'm guessing it must be around 10, 11 pounds rather than 17 odd, which these seem to be. So what do I really like about this? Well, this is fairly self-contained. You put it in a case and away you go. This is the entire entity on its own. When you drop these down, you get a little bit of a work table to work in. Your foot goes in there, you put all the contraptions in the top, and as long as you don't tip the machine, it'll stay pretty good and secure. So that's kind of nice. It's not so convenient, the Lotus, except if you put it on a tabletop. This one, however, will go in a table, which makes it slightly better for bigger projects. But I never really would envisage using the Lotus itself. I usually use it for quick pick up a machine, grab, go, and start sewing when I'm in a hurry for something, as opposed to big projects. So, let's take a look. The space on between the needle here looks like about 7 inches, so that would be 18 3/4 centimeters. Between the needle on here is, looks like, I mean, yourself left position, you'll get 8. If you get sewn left needle position, you get probably 17, just shy of 18. So they're not wildly different. The SP is the same. So if you sew in left needle position, you'll get just shy of 18. So it's very similar harp space. Although this is higher, definitely. So you get way more space on the Singer than you do on these Elna. So you can fit a lot more under here than you can in here. So that will obviously be an important thing. But how do they sew and how do they sound? Right, well, let's put this tape measure away. So we all know they're all rotary hook mechanisms. The only difference is these two use belts. What I was impressed with is sometimes this, you wouldn't think, this has a rubber belt inside to go between the motor and all the assembly in there. That's actually very good. Industrial machines use that, and it's easy to get a new replacement belt. This one, however, uses the old style nylon belt with metal kinks, so if it ever fails, you're in trouble. Whereas this is just metal, metal, metal. So let's take a look. So we've got this machine, and we're going to, so on its own, it's a straight stitch machine. And put it over. Hear how nice and quiet it is. It's quite a short stitch I've got it on at the moment. That's its longest stitch. Goes reverse. And that's pretty much, if you just start there, that's what it does. But it's, as you can see, fast as well. So that's quite nice. Tension's a bit tight, but that's okay. So that's that machine. But if you add attachments, of course, it then gets a little more fancy. So I've now put on the Singer zigzagger for slant shank machine, and of course now it's going to make a lot more noise. However, what's interesting is there is way more space on this attachment under the presser foot than on my 201 when I use, or other featherweight, the 222, when I put this attachment on. So I'm quite fascinated with that, because that makes it a lot more helpful. So of course it works like the zigzag attachment, and it's fine. You know, it's noisy, but if you need your zigzag for overcasting, it works extremely well. So, you know, it's got a buttonhole as well, so it really does sing and dance, this machine. Very nice. Tension's a bit tight, but I know that anyway. I need to loosen that. I've ordered a new tension assembly here, so that will make it a little better when the time comes. And actually, and you get perfect control, so you know, what more do you want to say? It's working great. And then we've got the machine. So let me show you one of the Elnas. So I got this Elna 2 days ago, and I got it because the person who was selling it on eBay said it was dead, so I wanted to part it out because I didn't have the top cover on my little Elna, my Lotus here. And that was the only part which was imperfect on that machine. I mean, I don't mind dings and scratches, but missing parts bugs me. So I thought I'd switch them over. What I found out is there's a little notch here when I put this part on this machine that needs a bigger trough there than this one. So that one worked fine, and this one doesn't quite work. So I just jammed this up a bit, but I'll do a bit of surgery on that. It's a minor, but I need to remove about maybe 3/4 of a centimeter of a little trough in there. I'll use my mini grinder, but I actually found out that this machine works. So I was told it didn't work, but because the needle didn't move. But what I looked and quickly found out is that this machine, it runs on 220 volts. So having a 220 volt adapter around, because some of my machines are, I found out actually it worked fine. So there was almost nothing wrong with it. This needed some repair, the little adjustment between the 3 stitches. But what's intriguing about this, so there are some plastic bits on there. If only it were solid metal, it would be perfect, really. But the knobs are plastic, and there's some plastic bits in there. But the gears are metal. The zigzag mechanism, however, is got a little plastic bit in it. But considering this is over 40 years old, it's 1970, so it's 45. doesn't seem to be any degradation, not that they've been heavily used, but they are very, very smooth. So this one's kind of neat, and that's got a multi-point zigzag, a full zigzag, and a blind stitch. So to switch between them, you should turn the stitch width to 0, and then we'll reduce it. So that's full speed on these machines. It's quite quiet, but it's not super fast. So what I'll do is I'll go to straight stitch now. That's full speed. So they're a lot slower than the Singer. And you can't adjust the tension on these, which kind of is a bother. But they sew quite well. Rotary hook. Pretty good stitching. It's not quite as perfect, I would say, as the Singer on this machine. But I've only just been running it in. I've only just got it up and running a few minutes ago. But I mean, it's quite cool that you get the multi-point zigzag. You see how well it works. It's very smooth. You can't really tell the difference between when it's on zigzag and stuff. So this has a lot more options than that. But with the attachment, actually they're kind of the same. But the light's burnt out, so I'll put it. I think I have an actually 220 light in there. But I'm kind of in a pickle now, trying to decide, should I put this part back on here and replace the doors on here so this becomes my keeper perfect machine? Because I don't mind working on 220 volts, it really doesn't bother me at all. But I mean, that's really good stitching. Or should I go to that? But between the two, this has more plastic parts. The bobbin winder mechanisms are prone to breaking on these, but this one's fine, it works. Surprised me actually, I thought that would be the one plastic part which is broken. I mean, they're easy to replace, but it's not cheap. It's about $75 to replace this, and I did that on this machine. The feed dogs do not drop on these machines. That's kind of one thing I really find irritating. You have to use a riser, like on the Singer 400 series. Where you have to raise things up. That's not as convenient because there's not all that much room under this foot presser here, the presser foot. So when you use the riser, there's really very little room at all under there. But as far as what I call a great portable machine, a really handy machine that's small and sturdy, because the mechanism is mostly metal. You know, the actual mechanism is quite good. It uses, that's direct drive, the Singer, but these use a friction drive. So there's a rubber wheel which runs on the inside of this balance wheel, and that makes it run. Which means, well, that one's actually quite good. So it's not like no slipping. But it's not all that. It's not like super powerful. So the Singer is much more powerful. But as far as a really pleasurable small machine when you need a portable, these are really good. So I would say all three of these are fantastic machines. I'm just a bit greedy because I've got 3 of them. I will be trying to decide which one do I want to get rid of. I've replaced the friction drive on that, so of course it's quieter now. It was growling, what they described as growling before, but this has had all the 2 parts that wear out, which is the bobbin winder and the friction wheel replaced, so they're both basically as good as new. I've got more bobbins for it. This one just runs on 220, but it's absolutely fine. So it's difficult to say what I shall do about this. Do I need the multi-point zigzag, the blind hem, and the zigzag on this machine? Would I ever use them? Debatable. It's got the 4-point buttonhole mechanism, both of these machines too, and these, what I do like is the left and right needle position. That one used the buttonhole attachment, and of course it works extremely well, as we all know. So it's difficult to say. If I had a choice, I mean, if that were my own, if I didn't have other bigger machines, I would absolutely go with the 301. But the fact that these are for portable purposes, it's extremely difficult to say which I prefer. I mean, they're all lovely to sew on. I really like the 301, of course, just because it's just such a fantastic caliber machine. It's beat up, but it works really well. I mean, my machines are generally not the prettiest, but they work fantastically, and that's what I do care about, complete, fully functioning machines. So, there's your Elna Lotus. It's a very quiet machine, and it's good. So I hope you enjoyed that.